The RHS cheerleaders are traveling to New York for the world-famous Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Room 804 now under construction for Project Lead the Way.
TigerCast Sports Network brings you their latest T5, A History of Excellence, on an all-new TigerCast News, November 6, 2015.
From Eye of the Tiger, this is TigerCast News. Broadcasting from Studio 403 at Roseville High School.
Good morning. Welcome to an all-new TigerCast News. I'm Dan Gunka.
And I'm Austin Daly.
To start off our show, the Rose Club went on a trip last Thursday with Roseville alumni members. Alex Gonzales has more on the story.
The Rose Club and RHS alumni took a trip to downtown Roseville to experience the town's history through various places and through each other's experiences.
I thought it would be pretty cool to meet some of the senior citizens in the community that have been here in Roseville for a long time, and I thought it'd be cool to interact with them, get to know them, and get to know an old part of Roseville and the tradition that's been in the city.
We were able to see the Roseville Museum, the downtown new town square, as well as the Blue Arts Gallery. So it was great to discuss and answer questions from students that are in high school now about what was going on during that time frame throughout the years of downtown Roseville.
RHS club member Brian Mariano was eager to learn more about Roseville's past.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning more about the history of Roseville and how it's changed over the years from the past to now.
Roseville alumni member Renee Aguilera has helped the Rose Club members truly understand the importance of having a meaningful downtown area and its history.
Going to Roseville High School and schools, elementary school and middle schools, downtown has changed a lot. Now it's changed for the better. With the population of Roseville now being over 135,000, the downtown areas kind of still stayed real small. You know, some of the stores have changed, some of the mom and pops stores are still there. So it was great for the students to grasp today how important it is to have a vital downtown.
Rose Club members have hopefully learned more about the town they call home.
A change is coming to classroom 804. Mr. Fuller will be teaching a brand new engineering class next term. Room 804, which was originally used for the geometry and construction class, is now going to be used for the students of the entrance engineering class.
This is a project-based class designed to get students interested in the field of engineering. Even if you're not interested in the field of engineering, it's still a great class to have. Because it's all project-based. It's kind of like what you're going to be doing in the real world, you know, turning in projects related to your job, essentially.
The entrance engineering class starts up next term.
Mr. Gadway has been nominated for RHS Teacher of the Year. We go to Claire McKegg with the story.
AC Literacy and Avid 12 teacher Dean Gadway has won the title of Teacher of the Year thanks to fellow teachers on campus and is very honored to be recognized.
Teachers receive a list during a faculty meeting. We choose 3 names from the list, and from that list they select who's won Teacher of the Year each year. It's a great honor, and I know that there are so many teachers at this school that work so very hard to help our students and to challenge and guide our students, and that my fellow staff members would honor me with this great distinction is truly humbling.
Students feel that Mr. Gadway has been rightfully awarded the title.
I definitely think Mr. Gadway deserves Teacher of the Year. He's very interactive with the students, and he's always there when you need help. He's definitely very encouraging, and I feel like his dedication to the AVID program definitely reflects like how he is as a teacher, and I think, yeah, he definitely deserves Teacher of the Year.
He will now compete to be named the Roseville Joint Union High School District Teacher of the Year.
The high school drama performance, You Can't Take It With You, is next week. It's in the Patty Baker Theater, and admission is $10 for adults and $5 for students. It starts at 7 p.m. on November 12th through 14th and November 18th through 20th.
We now go to Josh Carson and Keegan Ness with sports.
Thanks, Dan. Welcome to this week's edition of TCSN. I'm Josh Carson alongside Keegan Ness.
Roseville High School welcomes back a coaching legend. Last week you saw the trailer, now it's time for the film.
Let's send it over to Jason Russell, who is standing by with the story.
Who is Paul Gonzales? He is by far and away the true definition of a Roseville Tiger. Not only did he go here, but so did his father, his wife, his children, and now his grandchildren. But it was after high school and after college that Gonzales really solidified himself as a true Roseville Tiger, a legend at this school. You see, after high school and after college, Gonzales returned to Roseville High School to coach the boys and girls varsity basketball teams for 19 years straight. In those 19 years, Gonzales racked up 10 SFL League championships and 5 Section Division II championships. Gonzales ended his coaching career here in 1998. But in those 19 years as well, he won 357 games and lost 166. Now, to give you an idea on how good Gonzales really was, we've compared him to NBA coaching legend Greg Popovich. In Greg Popovich's first 19 years with the San Antonio Spurs, he won 5 NBA titles. In Gonzales' 19 years here at Roseville, he won 5 Section Division II titles. Popovich, in his overall career with the San Antonio Spurs, 19 years, has won 68% of his games, and Gonzales, in his 19 years here at Roseville, also won 68% of his games. Gonzales has returned to be the assistant coach for the freshman boys basketball team. We hope you enjoy the 3rd installment of the T5 series, Paul Gonzales, A History of Excellence. After 19 successful years coaching at Roseville High School, Gonzales stepped away in 1994. He bounced around from Oakmont, Granite Bay, and then over to Bella Vista to help coach alongside his son. However, Roseville and their basketball coaching staff during that time always had an eye on him.
Well, I think ever since, I've been here and learned about who he was, I've wanted him to be a part of our staff. So it was a matter of, him kind of knowing that we were interested, but I mean, the timing of it was just right for this year. I mean, he had been coaching at Granite Bay when I first got here, and then he helped out his son at Bella Vista, and we had been talking, for on and off for a while, and it just worked out that, he was ready to come over and help us out. So, the timing of it just kind of worked out for this year.
Getting Gonzales back means that Roseville adds another genius to their already strong basketball coaching staff. His style was one that his former players loved and never forgot about.
It is amazing what he can get out of a player. And every player on his squad is ready. My senior year was his 2nd year coaching here at Roseville. And he took over my junior year. And I think one of the things that really impressed us is he came in and day one and says, okay, our goal is this. And basically, he didn't put SFL champions or anything else. He knew that he had to slowly build. So the first day of our junior year, he comes in, writes on the whiteboard, 16 and 14. And that was our goal, over 500. And most people go, well, that's not much of a goal, but it was a goal that is reachable. It was a goal that was attainable, but it was a goal that we still had to work at.
He demanded effort, work hard, and he just was upfront about everything. So I think that's why he and a lot of people just kind of gravitated towards him, just because, I always like the, what you see is what you get, and I think a lot of people do kind of gravitate towards that.
This special coaching style, however, wasn't something that he specifically worked at. It was just his natural personality.
I don't know if I want to say I'm old school, but the way I was brought up, I come from a Mexican background, where the family's really close. And that's the way I've always told my players, we got to be close. Going back to the question that you said, it sounds kind of corny, but you got to be close. It was funny because I used to tell the kids that we're like a family, we got to be close. And then one of the players raised their hand and said, does that mean you're going to buy us our shoes? That's how close we were sometimes. And sometimes we weren't, but you want your teams to be close. And that's the way I was brought up. I come from a family, there were 7 kids. We were close as a family, and that I always told the kids, whatever sport I coach, we're like a family, you gotta stay together.
Natural personality carried Gonzales a long way in terms of gaining love from his players, but so did his passion for the game.
But I think he was ahead of his time in a lot of areas of offense and defense, and I think that showed out on the court. But his passion for coaching obviously has stuck with him because he's still doing it 30 plus years later.
After 30 plus years of coaching basketball, Gonzales has seen almost everything. Overtimes, playoffs, championships, heartbreaking losses, and just about every other facet of basketball. But the one thing that never changed through all that, practice.
I tell people this, and I have other coaches tell me the same thing. Kids want to be good, but they don't want to put the time in. That's the difference, you know. The teams that are really good, I don't care what sport it is, the students that are really good in class, whatever you do, put time in. You don't become an A student by not studying. You don't become a good basketball player or football player by not putting the time in, you know. So you got to put the time in, you know.
The up-tempo, physical, 100% effort practices eventually became the trademark for Gonzales. 2 hours of pure hard work.
And practices were pretty intense, pretty hard. And he was a big, like, just practice how you play kind of guy. So he was really hands-on, really stressed defense. So he was into the game. It was no, like, you know, sitting on his hands kind of thing. He was really, you know, he basically expect you to work hard. If you didn't work hard, he would let you know about it.
If you're going to play a sport, do it right. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it. You're wasting your time. I've always told my kids that. I tell my grandkids that. If that's the best you can do, don't do it. You know, go do something else, you know. Like they say, when you get between those 2 black lines, or the 4 black lines, for 2 hours, you got to give it all you got. You know, if you don't want to, then sit over there, you know.
It didn't matter how hard or rough practices got, though. They were always fun and energetic. Those type of practices had a big carryover in games.
Playing for him was fun because every day we went into practice, we had fun. But what we didn't realize is every drill we were doing, we were conditioning. But every drill that we were doing, it was a competition. When we had our take the charge drill, we had a competition to see who could take the biggest charge, and we didn't let up where you kind of bumped the guy. There were some guys that just got plowed and jump up and go, yeah, and it's just how it was. Our practices were very competitive.
My best team here, I think we were 7 or 8 and like 19. 7 and 19, and people say why? Because they played hard.
Gonzales' tough style practices and games were never just for the sake of coaching. He knew the importance of not only being a good coach, but also a good teacher.
Well, I think being in education and coaching as long as he has really says a lot about why he was there to begin with. He's there to make an impact on kids. And he did that through coaching, but he was also a counselor on campus. And I think those skills, the ability to communicate with young people and challenge them when they need to be challenged, you know, give them a hug when they need to be hugged, but being a good communicator made him a really effective coach, because that's a huge part of working with young people, is ability to communicate.
I just wanted, I think I could do more counseling as a coach than sitting in an office. So I just said, hey, you know, so I got a chance to work with some great kids, boys and girls. Had a lot of good athletes, you know.
Being the coach and teacher that Gonzales was led to some great personal memories from his players.
Coach was extremely hardworking, and he expected us to work hard. And I think that type of attitude and that type of expectation was contagious. And on the other side, though, Coach was, you know, the type of guy you could talk with, and he would get on your rear end 1 minute and he'd put his arm around you the next. And if you were really in the doghouse and you were feeling bad, he'd take you to lunch at Carmelita's, and they'd talk about what was going on. And so those were some of the best times, was going and eating at Carmelita's.
Having a personal connection with players is something that Gonzales mastered throughout his career, creating tight bonds with them that last even today.
And yeah, he was actually graduated with my dad. So yes, old Roseville goes way back.
Coach, you know, you and I have stayed close over the years, and I've always considered you a mentor and an inspiration to me as I've gone through my coaching career. I want to thank you for everything you did for me and for all of the kids that were at Roseville at that time. We certainly would have never been where we got to win the North State Championship without you as our leader. So thanks a lot, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the bench again in orange and black.
The Roseville basketball program, as well as all of Roseville High School, is more than happy to welcome back coaching legend Paul Gonzales.
I'm glad to be back. I really am. My wife's excited. Like I said, I went to Roseville. My wife went to Roseville. My 3 kids went to Roseville. I was born in Roseville. I lived here all my life. A lot of pride, you know.
You'll see Gonzales as an assistant freshman coach for boys basketball this upcoming season. On another note, make sure to tune in to the top 5 plays of October, airing next week on TCSN on TigerCast.
Now over to Austin Collins for entertainment.
Thanks, guys. Steve Jobs is not the first biopic that's been released since the death of former Apple CEO Stephen Paul Jobs. This Danny Boyle-directed iteration of the man behind the turtleneck is by far the most well-written and most intense entry of them all. While the 2013 biopic Jobs starring Ashton Kutcher told the story of how Apple came to be, following the technological visionary from his days in the garage with Steve Wozniak, all the way to his unveiling of the iPod, this movie dodges that monotonous storyline and instead focuses on why Steve Jobs was the way he was, rather than how he was so successful. This film consists of 3 acts, each take place moments before a product launch. While this movie's all about the dialogue between the characters rather than any real action or violence, Aaron Sorkin's writing ensures that the dialogue alone is enough to keep you glued to your seat. Michael Fassbender gives a stunning performance as Steve Jobs, with a more mature tone than Ashton Kutcher's portrayal, as this iteration received an R rating due entirely to the amount of pervasive language Fassbender's Jobs delivered. Seth Rogen gave a great supporting performance as Steve Wozniak, and Jeff Daniels was also brilliant as former Apple CEO John Scully. Although the movie mainly focuses on explaining the psychological reasons for Steve Jobs' brilliance, yet insubordination and short temperament, it also told the story of his daughter and their complex relationship as he attempts to change the way the world viewed personal computing. This is why I'm giving Steve Jobs 4 out of 5 stars. Be sure to check out my full review in the newspaper on Monday. For all of you competitive shooter fans, Black Ops 3 was released at midnight, making this day 1 of this year's installment of the blockbuster multiplayer shooter. On another note, Fallout 4 is releasing next Tuesday. Developer Bethesda is expecting this installment of their post-apocalyptic RPG to outsell their best-selling game, Skyrim. We now go back to Austin Daly with more news.
Thanks, Austin. This fall, a handful of RHS cheerleaders have been invited to attend the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. This is a very special opportunity given to only the best squads from around the country. The parade reached out to the team after their performance at Nationals.
So last year, Roseville Cheer, our comp squad, competed at Nationals and we won first place. So we took our competition video and we submitted it, and we were one of the squads chosen. So Unity was invited to perform in the parade.
The parade will be nationally televised on November 26th.
The Hip Hop Club at Roseville High School is an emerging diverse team looking for new participants to join. Vice President Alexis Webb desires more creativity in different fields of dancers to express themselves in Roseville High School's Hip Hop Club.
Why we need more people is because we have a lot of dope routines that would be really cool if we had a lot of people. It could be a huge mob, meeting shy people and actually getting having them come out and dance instead of being at their own little corner. We need more people with different styles instead of the same people that can still break and hip hop and do all this fun. We need other styles to teach our kids.
If you are interested in the club and have a passion for dance, the club meets weekly on Wednesday. The team at TigerCast is devastated to report that former Buljon Middle School teacher Catherine McCarthy passed away on the night of October 31st due to a heart-related issue. In a statement made by Buljon Middle School, Assistant Principal Stephanie Brown highlights the legacy McCarthy left not only at the school, but in the hearts of hundreds of students. Buljon Middle School is also currently searching for ways to effectively honor the positive impact she made to the school. Miss McCarthy was a personal teacher of mine. To describe her expressive personality as memorable would not only be an understatement, but would be insufficient in describing how much of an impact she made in and out of the classroom. Miss McCarthy, you will be missed. That's it for us today in TigerCast News.
And remember, we'll always be on at iTheTigerNews.com. See you next time.